Hey guys, Ryan from Husky Moving here, Arlington, Massachusetts, serving the greater Boston area. We are a full service residential and commercial moving company. We do disposal, we do handyman jobs, we do what do we do? Artwork mounting, TV mounting, um, very light plumbing. If it involves the house, we try to get it done. So we do a lot of random stuff. I want to talk to you guys real quickly about. I actually touched on this the other day, but a different topic I just thought of. And this is super random, but it's something that's super important when you're out in the field in any aspect of your life, really. But with what I do, it's very very important because oftentimes I'm gonna use the term in charge of the situation, and what I mean by that is oftentimes I'll have guys that quote unquote work for me, but they're really working with me. But also more importantly, I think more importantly is oftentimes we do work with customers. Customers get involved with the jobs. That's actually a large percentage of what we do. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about your body language and the words that you use when you're out on jobs, which seems like complete common sense. A lot of the things I talk about actually seem like complete common sense, but they're not at all. When you're out doing what I do, you'll notice how often things happen and things that seem like complete common sense, where you would be like, of course you do that. It's not common sense at all. And so I talked about this in another video, but I had a job last week where we had to move a couple of glass tables, and I was doing them with customers, and I thought of something else that happened during the job. And this is not a big deal at all, but I think it's a larger, the actual context of what happened in the job was not a big deal at all. It really wasn't, but it's a larger kind of like life lesson, I think, in the way that you talk, the way you present yourself, the body language you give off is super important to your success or lack thereof. So real quickly, we're on this job. I got a mouthful of peanut butter right now. I probably should have figured this out before I started doing a video like a moron. Uh, we're on this job. We have these two glass tabletops. We do one of them. It goes out into the truck fine. Everything goes really great. I mean, everyone did their job. Everything went really well. And again, I can't stress this strongly enough. What happened was not a big deal at all. I'm just proving a larger point or making a larger point. We go back in to get the second table, and the woman who worked at the place, who wasn't even really involved at all, goes, well, the first one was the easy one. This one will be a lot more difficult. And I was like, and again, this is not a big deal at all, but you got to keep in mind what's going on here. I'm working with people who don't work in a moving company, who don't lift giant glass tabletops, who most likely do not go to the gym regularly, if at all, who, when they see a giant piece of glass and they have to pick it up, it's a huge deal to them because they're not used to doing it. Just as if I went into someone else's business, if you asked me to go drill oil, it would be a huge deal to me because I've never done it before. To a guy who drills oil every day, it's not a big deal at all. So this is what I'm working with. It's not a professional moving company I'm working with. I'm literally working with two people I met 12 minutes ago. And so this woman goes, first one was the easy one. This is going to be the tough one. And I was like, Jesus. I'm like, first of all, both of these glass tables are huge, heavy. This woman, I can guarantee you, has never picked up either one, so she has no idea what she's talking about. But that's not the point. The point of the story is, and again, I'm not shitting on the woman. I'm really not. Although I know it sounds like I am. In my mind, I don't care what this woman says. Nothing she says is going to affect me physically, mentally, anything. Nobody on that job is going to be able to affect me. Nothing there is going to affect me. Literally nothing. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the people I was working with. I was working with two people who don't go to the gym, most likely, who don't usually do this kind of stuff. It's very awkward for them. They don't have confidence built up because they've never done it before, as they shouldn't have confidence built up. And I'm aware of that. That's why I'm there. I'm there to build up your confidence. That's why you hired me. You want to do something. My goal, or my role, is to tell you what you need to do so that we're all going to be successful. So when this woman said this, I kind of made a joke, but if you know me, this is the face I had on. It's not a joking face. I was like, she said it. She goes, yeah, that was the easy one. The next one's going to be harder. And I was like, nope. The one we just did was the hardest one. The next one's going to be the easy one. And she's like, yeah, I don't think so. I'm like, I do. And I just like kind of looked at her and laughed. And I kind of made a joke of it, but I wasn't really joking around. I was like, yeah, just so you guys know, the one we just did was the hardest one. The next one's going to be easy. I don't fucking know which one is easier. I don't care. It doesn't matter how much the weight difference was. It doesn't matter. They were both giant rectangular pieces of glass. Whether one weighs 200 pounds and the other weighs 212, it doesn't fucking matter. None of this matters at all. What matters is, and this is the point of this stupid fucking video, what matters is these two people who don't have confidence built up, who don't have a mental mindset to be doing what we're doing because they've never done it before and they're nervous, they need to be guided through and made to feel confident. So in my mind, I would never say something like that. I would never in a million years would I say, oh, that was the easy one. The next one's going to be harder. In my mind, my job is to go, no, that was the hard one. We're done now. We're golden. This one, we just got to pay attention to what we're doing, but this will be the easy one. What you say, what comes out of your mouth, your body language, presents a very telling story to people who aren't used to doing what you're doing. Your goal or role as the leader, organizer, whatever you want to call yourself, is to get those people confident. So in my mind, what I would have done was the exact opposite. I said what I already said, which is that was a hard one. The next one's going to be the easy one. These people are going to go in the direction I tell them to go. That's my role. I tell them to go where they need to go. I tell their mind where it needs to go. So oftentimes people will say things to me and I go, absolutely not. Nope. Say something like, oh, this is heavy. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I'm like, absolutely not. You're definitely going to be able to do this. Right? Right? Nod your head. Right? You're definitely going to, because you're strong and this thing is super light. And they'll be like, no, it's not. And I'll be like, yes, it is. And they'll be like, no, it's not. And I'll be like, no, you're not getting it. I'm like, super light. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, no, just in your mind, you need to understand you're telling yourself certain things. And what you tell yourself is how your body is going to act. So you need to tell yourself what you need to do to be successful. And so in that situation, which I come into 100 times over the course of a day, I deal with all these people, whether it's guys I work with or customers or parking, what the hell am I trying to think? Parking meter people, front desk people, whatever the case may be. I know what I have to do and what everyone else needs to do for all of us to get what we need for all of us to do what we all need to do to be successful. I know what that is. I've been doing it long enough that I can already tell you everything that everyone needs to do for us to be successful. I need to get you to the point where you believe it like I believe it. And so my point in this stupid story is that woman, she didn't think through what she said, and I understand why she didn't think through what she said, and I understand why she didn't give it a second thought. I get it. But I want you to give a lot of thought to everything that's coming out of your mouth on a day-to-day basis and how what you're saying and your actions with your body, what it's telling the world around you, and whether it's causing you to be successful or not be successful. And you'd be surprised how much of what goes on outside is a direct correlation of what comes out of your mouth and how you frame things with people, the confidence you give them or the confidence you don't give them in what you're about to do. So be mindful of your words, be mindful of the way you phrase things, be mindful of the confidence building techniques that you're using and the way you're speaking to people, how you're building them up instead of inadvertently causing them to shrink down or causing them to be more fearful. So that woman, in my opinion, inadvertently, and I know she didn't do it on purpose, like I'm aware of, obviously she didn't do it on purpose. She didn't give it a second thought. She has no reason to. Having said that though, she didn't need to pick up a huge glass table. I did. She was nowhere to be found. She wasn't helping. She wasn't doing anything. So to her, it's not a big deal because she doesn't care. To me, it's a huge deal because I'm the one who has to do it. And if anyone drops that piece of glass, someone's fingers get cut off. So it's a huge deal to me. And I understand that. Like, I'm not shitting on the woman, even though I know it sounds like I am. She has no reason to care. I'm just talking about you to the guys out in the field. Be mindful of what you're saying so the guys around you that are working with you and or customers are going to hear the way you're talking and they're going to act accordingly. So make sure that you're building them up with whatever you're saying. You're making them more confident. You're making them less fearful. You're saying, hey, we can do fucking anything. Anything at all. I don't care what it is. We'll get it done. Whenever someone tells you something's heavy, nope, absolutely not. Nope, 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 nope. this is going to be a brutal day. Nope, it'll be fine. We'll get through it. It'll be all right. You'll be okay. I'm not telling you to be dismissive of people, but you need to understand that I'm a huge believer that your body goes wherever your mind tells it to. So if you're saying negative things in your mind, or if customers are saying negative things, if they've already made up their own mind about something, they're going to act accordingly. I can't tell you how many times out in the field I've been dealing with people, and people, before they've even touched something, literally before they've even touched it, they've made up their mind, and I know this because I can hear what they're saying, what's coming out of their mouth. They've made up their mind that something is going to be brutally heavy or it's impossible to move. Oftentimes what has happened was someone else said something like, oh my God, that file cabinet's so heavy. And then someone else parroted it, and they're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. It's so heavy. And I literally, and this sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I'll literally be like, hey, listen, I haven't seen you touch that thing. Like literally not even once. You haven't touched it. I'm not being a jackass, but how do you know how heavy that is? Right? You don't. The person said it was heavy, and then you're taking what they said and just going, okay. My thought process should be, fuck what they said. I don't give a shit what they said. I'm making a decision whether this is heavy or not. It's not heavy. End of story. Guys, I hope a little bit of this was helpful, especially for you younger guys. Just be mindful of the way you're talking to other people, and more importantly to yourself too, because if you get to a point where you're the type of person that's never saying anything negative to yourself, it's always positive, the next step in your life, once you get to that point, will be, it's no longer about you. Now it's about everyone else around you. I'm not going to say like once you've conquered yourself, but you know what I mean. Once you get to the point where you can control what's going on in your head and you're completely in control of it, and you're like, it's like a video game, you're running your own shit, because a lot of people aren't like that. Once you get to that point, the next step is now you're doing that for everyone else around you. You're running everyone around you. You're doing it for yourself as well as them. That's where I want you guys to get to. All right? If you need to get a hold of me, Ryan, contact information is at the end of the video. Like, subscribe, like anyone else. I really appreciate it. And that's it, guys. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it.